It's great to be chatting with John again after 1.5 years. It feels like deja vu because John was the first international student I'd interviewed for KayCee's ViewSpot. Welcome back to Chennai, John. What brings you back here?
Just here visiting. I just graduated from my university, so I had a few extra weeks and my parents sent me to Chennai to travel and see a little bit more of Tamil Nadu that I missed last time. So.
Okay, but okay, it's been, like I said, 1.5 years. And it's a short time since you came here. In this short time, have you noticed any changes?
Everything seems a little bit busier.
Yeah.
Traffic's a little bit worse. Driving's a little bit worse.
Yeah.
But it's still the Chennai I know and love.
Yeah. Oh, and you love that. Okay. And what are you planning to do after this is over?
After I go back home?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back home. I have summer break for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. My sister is expecting her first child.
Okay.
And so I'll be down visiting her in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna relax a little bit, read some books for fun, work on a house that we have. Needs a lot of construction work.
Okay.
And then
you're gonna be helping your dad.
Yeah, I'll be helping my dad doing some just some random work around the house.
Yeah.
And then in September I'm gonna head off to London for my master's degree.
Okay. So here's wishing that you're going to be a great uncle to your nephew or niece.
Thank you. Thank you.
And what are the preparations you're making for going to your, for your London trip between your masters?
Right now, it's just kind of the biggest thing is clearing my own head because I just finished 4 years of my undergraduate degree, and it was a lot of work.
What did you undergraduate in?
I studied anthropology and magazine journalism.
Yeah.
At Syracuse University in the States.
Okay.
And so it was just very busy and very hectic and way too much work and way too little sleep.
Yeah.
And so the next few months is just really preparing my mind again to kind of learn new things and study and be able to absorb as much about London life as possible.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm making sure I don't set an alarm clock every morning, and I'm reading some books for fun and just those types of things, you know, that relaxing type of preparation before a hard mental effort. But other than that, you know, I'm just starting to get my visa set and take care of my flights. I'm on a scholarship over there, and they take care of everything for me. So I'm just trying to figure out where I'm living and you know, how I'm going to get over there and all that type of stuff. So.
Are any of your friends also going to be with you?
I know a few people. A few people on the same scholarship I've met here and there. But for the most part, I'm on my own. So it's going to be great to meet new people and just kind of break out of, you know, my friends from the States and be over there. Although all my friends from the States say that they're going to come over and visit me as soon as they can.
Okay.
So I've got many questions about whether I'll let people sleep on my floor or whatever. I said, yeah, sure. If you can come over to London, you've got a place to stay.
Oh, great.
And so I'm sure I'll have plenty of visitors.
Okay. One of the questions that I'd like to ask you is, you know, compared to your fellow students in Syracuse University, are you one of the most traveled internationally? Which are the places you've traveled?
Yeah, I think maybe I'm getting there. I've been incredibly fortunate. My university was very, very supportive with my travels, and so they really gave me the opportunity to go out and do work in other places. So in the last 2 years, I've been here, Nepal, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Costa Rica, and London.
Oh, very different places.
Yeah, all very different.
So culturally, you're really now exposed to a lot of different cultures. How has it helped you in your outlook towards life?
I think I was just talking about this with a friend today, that travel is just such a radicalizing act. I mean, it really just opens up your mind and your viewpoints on things in so many ways. I look at kind of how I saw the world, say 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, I've done a little bit of traveling, but really not as extensive as I have now. And you know, look at my viewpoint and compare it to now, where it's just such such a broader perspective, and I feel like it's a little easier to empathize with people now that you know, I've traveled and I've seen the way different people live in different parts of the world.
So you sort of brand ambassador for the US because you're.
I don't know about that,
yeah.
but I mean, I definitely like living in the States. It's a nice place to live, but it's also nice to get out of it every once in a while and see different parts of the world.
What are you going to do in London? What's the name of the course?
I'll be taking a master's in global migration at City University.
Okay.
So that'll be a one-year master's, and then I'll move universities and go to the School for Oriental and African Studies at the University of London, and I'll pursue Southeast Asian studies.
So at the end of all this, you will be a qualified anthropologist.
I hope so, eventually. I'll have to go to more schooling, but...
Yeah. And do you plan on writing books?
Yeah, I think my goal is to do research with refugee groups, study migration, with the eventual goal of actually kind of relieving some of those burdens. I mean, it's always going to be a burden to be forced out of your home and forced somewhere else, but if in some way we can make that process easier and less traumatic, then I think that's a good thing. And that's kind of where I'd hope my work will take me.
Okay.
Maybe write a few books along the way, do a few research projects, teach a few classes. We'll see.
Okay, London is a very multicultural society, and I'm sure New York is too. Would you say that in today's world, there's no such thing as a person belonging to just one place, and they're a citizen of the world?
I mean, I think there's so much, well, in a globalized world, there's so much going on, right? I mean, to have, say, fresh fruit in upstate New York in the middle of winter, just that alone takes, you know, interactions with thousands of people across the world to get that fruit imported. And so really there's no isolation anymore, if there ever was any isolation, but you know, especially not now. And I think it's only to our own detriment if we don't recognize the good that multiculturalism really brings to who we are and how we see the world, and our communities. I mean, there's New York, London, even Chennai. There's such better places when there's people from different backgrounds and different understandings and different viewpoints. I mean, we really need that to have a lively and interesting city, and so I think it's great.
Is this going to be your first trip to London?
I've been there twice before.
Okay.
Once when I was a very little lad, as they'd say.
Yeah.
My family took me over. And then last time, actually, when I left Chennai, I flew back through London and stopped off for 2 days to see some friends who were studying there. So.
Okay. And what are the places you would like to visit?
Oh, well, that's an endless list. But first off, I really want to see Ireland and Scotland and Wales. I think I've always heard such great things about how beautiful those countries are, and the landscape, and you know, the rural scenes. I think I just absolutely love to be there.
I guess you'll be given an opportunity now because
sure, yeah.
It won't be too far from London.
Everything's so close. You know, so those types of trips, I've been to Belgium before, but I'd really like to go back.
Okay.
And then, you know, travel outside of Europe as well. There's so many places I'd want to go. And you know, we'll see when I get there, but I really want to travel to the Middle East. I want to travel to you know, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, that area, and of course always back to India and Sri Lanka. So
have you been to Delhi?
I flew through Delhi, but I haven't visited. So
I guess you're one of the few foreigners I've met who hasn't come via Delhi. You know,
yeah.
You know, or seen Delhi proper. Because
well, last time I was here, I stayed in South India almost exclusively. I was studying in Mysore. I flew in through Bangalore, so I really just never had the opportunity. And I wanted to make sure that I really saw South India. And I fell in love with South India. I mean, it's a beautiful place, and I hear great things about North India, but they've got a lot to overcome, you know, to get me up there.
Maybe you should visit it, and you know, some of your biases might. No, I won't use the word bias. Sorry, some other word will be removed because there are some great places there too.
I know it's a great place, and I think my thinking on it is always that there's so much to see in both places, South and North India, that I really need to do another trip and just, you know, do as much as I can that time in North India. And I haven't had that opportunity yet. But there's just so much to see everywhere.
What are your other interests in life? Hobbies, passions?
Other interests, yeah. I like to write. So I do a lot of writing, especially with the journalism degree. Do a lot of like non-fiction stuff. I love to play. I play the organ, so organ and guitar. So that's a lot of fun.
Organ in the church?
Yeah, in the church.
Okay.
So I actually work at a few churches back home.
Okay.
I'll go and I'll play services. So that's a lot of fun. Other than that, just relax. I'm trying to start up running again. It's been a while.
Okay.
All my friends who haven't seen me in a while said that I got a little fat, so try to shed some pounds maybe this summer or something. But I really like playing soccer as well. Oh, excuse me, football. We are in India. But you know, those are kind of just things I do on the side when I'm not reading or writing.
What about maybe forming your own group or something like that? I mean, since you play the guitar.
Yeah. When I was in high school.
Singing.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I had my own. Well, me and a couple of friends had a rock band, but it didn't go anywhere. It was a lot of fun, but we weren't going on tour anytime soon.
Do you have some videos or something? I mean, that you can look back and
I'm
say,
not
okay.
gonna comment on that. Yeah, I'm not sure. There may or may not be some videos out there. Whether or not there are, nobody should ever watch them. They're really bad, if they exist, of course.
What would you know, after you finish your studies, what would you, what's the profession you would like to take?
I'd like to go into academia and be a professor, to be able to teach, write, and at the same time advocate for the issues that I'm really passionate about, and advocate from a point of knowledge, you know, of actually understanding and studying these processes and being able to go back to some organizations and say, hey, this is what I've studied, this is what I've found, you know, maybe we can work together and form some solutions.
Okay. Do you have a sort of rapport with the students? Because you're a student yourself, but you know, you've got to have that sort of longing to teach. I mean, that you should have that interest in you.
Yeah, certainly.
You have that, is it?
I think I hope to be like the cool professor, you know, the one that, you know, call me by my first name, and, you know, but I don't know. Well, no, it's a long way before that happens. But I like to teach and I like to share. I mean, the things that I work on, I'm so passionate about that I really like to share that with other people. And I think that's the fundamentals of teaching, you know, being excited about something and being excited enough to share that excitement and to get other people excited about it. Because if you're not excited about it, then you make a bad teacher.
Yeah, we're almost running out of time now.
Okay.
Do you have anything to say to anyone on anything?
Well, it's just so nice to be in Chennai and to be talking on the ViewSpot again. I mean, it's been a great 1.5 years, and hopefully in a few more years we'll do this again.
Yeah, thanks, John. It's really been nice chatting with you again. And wishing you all the best in your career.
Thank you very much.